G'day, mate. I'm FPL Roo, and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another FPL video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the upcoming double game weeks for game week 22 and game week 23, and looking at the best options from the teams that will be doubling. In my opinion, I feel like these are the only players you should be bringing in over the next game week or two. But yeah, we'll go into that further later on in the video. I just wanted to quickly say, if you are new around here, please make sure you subscribe. I do release FPL videos 2 to 3 times a week, with a team selection, transfer tips, and answering some of the questions from the community. And yeah, if you want to just give this video a quick like, that'll be much appreciated. So first up, we'll quickly look at who's actually going to double. So as some of you that have probably watched my previous videos, you'll know this already. But yeah, Man United and Leeds will double in game week 22. Man United have great fixtures, Palace at home and Leeds at home. And Leeds have Nottingham Forest away and Man United away. Yeah, so really, really good to be probably getting in Man United players and maybe even a Leeds player. But we'll go into that in the next section of the video. And also in game week 23, Arsenal and Manchester City will be doubling. Arsenal with 2 home fixtures, Brentford and Man City. And then Man City have Aston Villa at home and Arsenal away. So now we'll take a look at a few options from the teams that are doubling. Like I said, in my opinion, these are the only players that you should be bringing in this game week are from these 4 teams. So Man United, Leeds, Man City and Arsenal. So first off, we'll start with Man United, as they do have the better fixtures in game week 22, double game week. So we'll start off with David De Gea. A lot of people probably wouldn't even consider bringing in the goalkeeper. But for me, coming in at 4.9 million and one of the cheapest ways into that Man United defence, out of guaranteed starts, that is, De Gea is a really, really good option. So he is only 10% owned, so a differential, if you want to call it that. And although Man United haven't kept clean sheets in the last 3 since the World Cup, they've kept 3 out of 6. And with a double game week, it's a chance for De Gea to rack up them save points and get some really good clean sheets against teams that are probably less likely to score than Arsenal and Man City, who they have conceded against in the previous game weeks. Having said that, this is why I've also gone for Luke Shaw. So Luke Shaw again has the same clean sheet potential as David De Gea, but he does have that attacking threat. But he does come in at 5.2 million, so a little bit more expensive, and he is a little bit more owned, which is fine, I guess. But if you can't really get that defender in, so say you have double Newcastle, Ben White, say you have a Man City defender, then you might not be able to bring Shaw in. So David De Gea is another option to get them clean sheets from Man United. And with some really, really favourable games for Man United, so like I said, the double game week with Crystal Palace, Leeds at home, and then they have Leeds away, funny enough, in game week 23, Leicester at home, Brentford at home, which is likely to be a blank game week. So if Man United do qualify for the League Cup final, then this will be a blank game week. So do bear that in mind when you are bringing in Man United assets. And then they do have a tough game against Liverpool away. Well, I say tough game, Liverpool awful at the moment. So maybe not a tough game. Maybe that should be a green fixture. So I've also gone for Bruno Fernandes at 9.8 million. So he has been kind of going under the radar, and he's only 6.2% owned, and he is projected at 17.5 points over the next 3 game weeks. A really, really good option, especially as I know a lot of us already have Marcus Rashford. That's why I've left him out of this. A good way to kind of double up on that Man United attack, and he might even still be on penalties. We actually don't know that yet. But I think any of these 3 are great options. You probably don't need De Gea and Shaw, so I'd say pick one. But yeah, Bruno and obviously, like I said, a lot of us probably have Rashford already, are definitely good options. And I will be looking to bring in Bruno as well, as I already have, Rashford. But let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you think Bruno is the next best Man United option? So next up, we'll look at Man United's opponents in game week 22. We'll look at Leeds United. Leeds do have Forest away and Man United away, so 2 away games, not the best. They then run into Man United again, this time at home, Everton away, and then Southampton at home, which could be a blank as well if Southampton do get through to the League Cup final. They are playing Newcastle, so they're not the favourites, but there is still a possibility of them getting knocked out. And then they do run into Chelsea away. So tough fixtures really for Leeds. Even the double game week's not the best, as Nottingham Forest have been, improved their form a little bit since the start of the season. So, yeah, we should be very, very careful bringing in Leeds assets. But these will probably be the three only options, I'd say, to bring in. So I've gone for Meslier, the goalkeeper, only coming in at 4.5 million, 1.8% owned, and 11.6 projected points over the next three. So although Leeds are not the best defensively, they did keep a clean sheet last time out and stopped Tony, as I'm sure some of you are Tony owners, so will know that they did keep a clean sheet against Brentford. They also kept a clean sheet against Newcastle, another good team. And Meslier does have a knack of getting save points in games against kind of the bigger teams, and I'd say the big six. So he made 6 saves against Man City, 3 against Spurs away, 5 against Newcastle away, and he even got 3 against Aston Villa away. So yeah, good goalkeeper to kind of bring in, very cheap, maybe get some save points. For me though, I'll probably not bring him in. You could get David De Gea for 0.4 million more, so I'd probably go for him. Another great option. Well, not great because Meslier is not that great, but another option you could bring in for Leeds is Rodrigo. He is down as a midfielder, though he has been playing further forward this season. He scored a massive 10 goals and got 1 assist. Although he's blanked in his last 2 and he's only got 1 goal since the World Cup, he has been doing well before that. So maybe an option to bring him in. He does come in at 6.4 million, 8.1% owned, so a little bit higher, and he's projected 15.5 points over the next 3 games. For me, I feel like there's better midfield options. So you've got the Arsenal boys, you can literally pick all 3, Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard. You've got Bruno, Rashford. You've got some of you still got Salah. I don't know why, but I've got him. So I've got Salah, Almiron. I feel like there's plenty of midfield options. So although he does look like an okay option for the double game week, I'll probably stay away as there is better players. Another player is Nonto. I've been told it's pronounced like Noki, so Nonto, I guess. Coming in at 5 million, 0.8% owned, so literally no one owns him, and he is only projected 8 points over the next 3, but that is probably false, as he's basically just signed, so he doesn't really have that data to back him up. Also, he hasn't been like firing since he's been starting a few more games. He scored 1 against West Ham at home, but he has been doing really, really well in the cups. He got a brace the other day in the FA Cup. So yeah, at 5 million, it could be an option as a kind of bench player if you wanted to upgrade Greenwood, or it kind of gives you a kind of fifth midfielder, but in a striker position. So your third striker, but he actually plays. So yeah, it could be an option. For me, he's probably the only option out of Leeds' players. Although I've said another 2, I feel they're probably a bit more expensive, and I don't really trust them to keep clean sheets. So yeah, for me, Nonto is definitely the only player from Leeds to be picking. So now we'll move on to the teams that will double in game week 23. So we'll start off with Man City. So they do have Spurs away. I feel like everyone's playing the same team twice in the space of 3 weeks, but yeah, a bit weird. But yeah, they have Spurs away in game week 22. But in game week 23, they have a home fixture against Aston Villa and an Arsenal away in the double, so both in the same week. Then they have Forest away, Bournemouth away, and Newcastle at home. So some really, really good fixtures kind of sandwiched between game week 22, game week 26. The Arsenal game is tough, but it isn't a double game week, so that's why I have put it as green. We're going to be looking at a defensive option, and I feel like John Stones is the best option. I've said this from post World Cup. I do feel like he is the best option for City, although he did miss the United away game. He has played the Spurs at home and Wolves at home since then, and did keep a clean sheet against Wolves. He also played the Chelsea away game before the United away game. And yeah, coming in at 5.4 million, he's not the cheapest, but to get into that Man City defence, and I don't want to say guaranteed because you never know with Pep Guardiola, but as guaranteed as you can get, maybe a Kanji is on that level too, but for me, Stones is probably the better option as he can play right back and centre back. So he is only 2.6% owned and he's projected 14.1 points over the next three. And if you do want to bring in that City defensive option, then I think Stones is your guy. The only thing I'd say is, like I said, with a few of the Man United options, there are a lot of good defensive options around at the moment. So Newcastle, Arsenal, even like Luke Shaw is a good option. So if you want to go without City, I don't think it's the end of the world. But if you're too worried, then yeah, definitely go for John Stones. I've also gone for Mahrez. So there's been a lot of talk about him on Twitter. People have gone for him and it's paid off as he got that massive monster haul against Tottenham. And Mahrez is kind of a player where he'll be quiet the first half of the season, and when it comes to like the business end, he'll step up, and he has been doing that the last basically since the World Cup. So yeah, he returned against Everton at home. Chelsea away, he scored two and an assist against Spurs, and then got an assist against Wolves last time out, and he probably should have got a goal, but he was ruled out for offside. But yeah, Mahrez is a really good option, a really good punt, coming in at 7.5 million, 7.6 million actually. It's not the end of the world if he does miss a game. So say he does play that Villa game, misses the Arsenal game, but then he's got Forest, Bournemouth. It's not the end of the world. He has projected 14.2 points over the next three games. And yeah, really, really great option. If you don't have that money to kind of go for De Bruyne, who I'll be talking about next, then Mahrez is a good option. Or you want to upgrade Almiron or yeah, something like that, then yeah, go for Mahrez. So De Bruyne, 38% owned. So quite a lot of us do own him. For me, I don't own him, and I am looking to bring him in ahead of the double game week. The only reason I am is absolutely, probably, maybe nailed. Who knows with Pep, like I said. And yeah, he's been racking up them assists. I feel like he's due a goal, but at 12.5 million, it is a lot of money. The only reason I am thinking of him is because I do have Salah, and it'll be easy enough just to swap to him. He is projected 18 points over the next three, so more than Mahrez. But yeah, with De Bruyne, it's kind of a player where you're not expecting a goal, but you are expecting assists, and hopefully he can get a goal. If you do have Salah, then I think swapping to De Bruyne is a good option. I'd probably just wait, as Salah does have Wolves away, and Wolves did concede 3 against City, so hopefully Salah can perform. But yeah, before game week 23, then bringing in De Bruyne is a good option for me, and I'll be definitely looking to do that. So next, our other team that doubles in game week 23 is Arsenal. So they do start off with game week 22 with a really great fixture against Everton away. Everton have been terrible recently. Lampard will probably get the sack very, very soon. Then they do have 2 home games in the double, albeit Man City could be tough, but Brentford at home and then City at home, which is a massive game for the league. Then they do run into Villa away. Unai Emery facing his old team could put up a display, but I do fancy Arsenal again. Leicester away, and then Bournemouth at home. So really, really good fixtures. Another thing to note is they don't blank. They're guaranteed not to blank in game week 25, and they do have that double. So you're almost kind of getting 2 extra fixtures. If over, say, let's say Almiron, you're getting 2 extra fixtures. So you're getting the double in 23, then you're getting an extra one in 25, whereas Almiron may blank if Newcastle do make it to that final. For me, I'd probably say that their midfielders are their best assets. So I have Martinelli and White. but I will be looking in to get one of the midfielders. Saka is an option for me, 8.2 million, so a little bit more expensive than Odegaard. 22% owned, but is projected 16.6 points over the next three. Saka's been doing really, really good the last few game weeks. So he scored against Man United, assist against Spurs. He did blank against Newcastle, as that was a 0-0. But he scored against Brentford and he scored against West Ham. So yeah, on fire at the moment. Whereas Martinelli on the other wing is not doing that great, but I guess the price difference probably makes up for that. Another option is Odegaard, so 6.9 million, so a little bit cheaper. Well, yeah, a little bit cheaper than Saka, and 30% owned, so more owned than Saka, which I was a bit shocked at. He is projected 16.3 points over the next three fixtures. Odegaard has been on fire since the World Cup. Even the game before the World Cup, he got a 16-pointer. Then at West Ham, first game back, 11-pointer. Full 13-pointer against Brighton. Blank again, like I said, against Newcastle. That was a 0-0. Goal against Tottenham and then an assist against Man United. So he's been on fire. Definitely a great option. I think either or you can't really go wrong with. I'd probably go with Saka just for the penalties, and I want to say the bigger goal threat. Although he hasn't probably had many penalties this season, there's always a chance that he can get them, and he is that little bit less owned. So, and I prefer him. So yeah, it all depends on your money as well, though. So if you don't have the money to go for Saka, I think Odegaard's a great option. But if you do, then definitely go for Saka, I'd say. Another option could be Nketiah. So like I said, there are a lot of midfielders at the moment. You might have Martinelli already. You might have Rashford. You might have Bruno, KDB. You might not be able to fit a midfielder in. So Nketiah is another option. Only 6.6 million and 4.1% owned. Although his projected points is only 10 over the next three games, he did bag a brace in the last game against Man United. He blanked against Spurs and Newcastle, but he scored against Brighton and West Ham. So he's got 4 goals since the World Cup. So yeah, pretty good. Only other thing is to bear in mind that Gabriel Jesus may be back soon. So he'll probably lose his place if that does happen. But over the next 2 or 3, I'd probably back Nketiah to carry on playing, and I don't think Jesus will be back by then anyway. So for me, I'm looking to take out Martial if he is injured, and Nketiah will be a great option just to do that swap. Otherwise, I'd have to take kind of a -4 to get in an Arsenal player, which is not the end of the world, but I'd rather not take a -4. So Nketiah could be an option. But let me know below, do you think Nketiah is an option now Jesus is likely to be back soon, or do you think just stick with the Arsenal midfielders and kind of Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard? Also, do you think Ben White is still a good option? He did get taken off at the end of the last game, or should we just stick with their attackers? But let me know below. Well, if you made it this far, thanks for watching the video. And if you are new and you haven't subscribed, you've made it this far, so you might as well just click that subscribe button. It's completely free. I'll be uploading videos every 2 to 3 days, and yeah, stay in touch with the latest FPL news by subscribing to this channel, and make sure you win your mini leagues against your mates. So yeah, let me know below who are your transfers going to be, who are you looking to bring in. But another warning is make sure you wait to make your transfer, so don't make it until kind of a couple of days before the game week 22 deadline, as we'll have much more information after this round of fixtures. So we'll have the League Cup semi-finals take place, and we'll have the FA Cup take place. So we'll know who will blank in game week 25 and game week 28. Also, another thing to note is Man United and Leeds only double if they don't have a replay. So they need to either lose or win their FA Cup games. Otherwise, if they do have a draw, the replay will be in place of their rescheduled fixture. So that is another thing to bear in mind. So yeah, keep hold of your transfers, and yeah, just keep an eye on the players, keep an eye on the teams that you want to bring in.